what's included when you hear the term DevOps figure thrown around a lot. And of course, a key component of that is test automation, is CI/CD, is agile engineering and XP practices. So these are all really part and parcel of this idea that we have when we talk about DevOps. So keys to success: have agile teams already in place. We're going to have a thought exercise on this in a minute. So why does that really matter? Okay? Don't focus solely on the tools. The tools are important, but by themselves in a vacuum, they're not really that valuable. Right? There's a saying, which is not meant to be insulting, they say a fool with a tool is still a fool, right? So the idea is if you just use the tool and you don't do anything else, it won't make much difference, okay? Have a collaborative relationship between developers and operations. So obviously that's the idea, that people aren't in their silos, they aren't just throwing things over the fence and say, hey, make it work, right? They're working and collaborating very closely, and don't make DevOps a new silo, or test automation for that matter, or CI/CD, that is not collaborating with other existing teams, because you're not making any benefit if you don't integrate them together. So this is a picture that just kind of shows, here we see waterfall, right? Design, code, test, deploy. Everybody knows this cycle quite well, I'm sure, right? We get more to agile, so we're doing very short cycles of design, code, test, and of course, if we incorporate DevOps, we start getting our deploy here, and then these cycles get shorter and shorter. It's almost a continuous flow until basically what we're getting, and so from Agile, where we had that cycle, we actually get to this goal of almost a continuous flow. If you think of Amazon or Netflix or Facebook, they are able to continuously do this 20 times a day, 100 times a day, because their automation is so good, so solid, right? They don't have a bunch of manual mistakes and errors that get introduced every time you introduce code. So that's our goal, right? Our goal is not, oh, well, you know, we've got Scrum going now, so now we've achieved. No, that's not the panacea. You need to keep going. Your goal is to really be able to do what these organizations, you know, 100 deploys per day they talk about, right? The ability to deploy and let your user go out and push a button and they can deploy your product because it's so nicely automated. The unit testing, automation, all the way up until your deployments. So now we're going to do a little thought exercise here, and hopefully you can do it at your groups. If there's not enough people at your table, feel free to sit with another group. But I would like you to imagine for a moment a DevOps team or program that does not use Agile. Okay, so they're using traditional waterfall. Everybody, I'm pretty sure, we just saw the last slide, knows traditional waterfall, design, build, test, and the year doing it, whatever. Okay, we all know that pretty well. Okay, so that's what your team is doing. We got a team doing that, and I want you to talk about at your tables. How long will it take to develop software? Okay, we all know waterfall development cycle. Is it 6 months, a year, 18 months? What is it? And then talk about how long it takes to deploy the software. So the team has, of course, started to use DevOps, test automation, right? They're starting to, you know, run all these things. You get CI/CD deployments and all the cool tools that you can think of, right? They got some Jenkins, they got some Selenium, they got JUnit, they got NUnit, all that good stuff, TFS, right? So they got the tools in place. And would automation, test automation, CI/CD, really make much of a difference for this waterfall team? So I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes.